Yeah, well, some people make internal affairs infernal affairs, right? You know, they use it again. Sometimes people like it to be corrupt, the internal affairs, but then when you're not deep state, or the deep state says take you out, then it's infernal affairs. It's not honest, you know, against you. Like some people are like, yeah, be honest, dishonest for me, but they don't realize that same system is dishonest against people also, right? So it's not always going to net you that thing. Yeah, the people around here so far are pretty good. No, I don't know what that cop did. It just, you know, Satan does stuff. And, right. Again, it's a teaching moment. That's all. Right. Because deep state is not what they tell you it is. It ruined everything. Right? And again, I call it the deep state, but it's a lot of different things. Right. I don't know. Law enforcement used to be great. Now it's all shitty. It's all shitty. Now, there were corrupt cells, but, you know, it just, when it got over a certain point, they take them out, you know, and that's it. Or a couple of them, you know. Right. Now they just kind of let it go. Right. Well, it's kind of like anarchy, like I said. It's gang warfare. So, you know, each gang stakes its claim and then leaves the world behind, you know, the citizen world behind, really. I mean, yeah, they have some they bring in. A Chevy pickup with, what are you, running lights or whatever. Like an old one, like a 78 or something like that. Avocado green, rust spot here or there. I guess it's a primer spot, actually. Right. Nah, you know, you're in Pennsylvania. And all the deer you're driving around, deer everywhere. All right, that's Pennsylvania. Eastern Ohio doesn't seem too bad, too bad. But again, you know, I think I'm supposed to be back in Pennsylvania. And then, like I told you about somebody I spoke to online, and it wasn't anything to it. It's just somebody I spoke to that was a younger person, and that person was in Ohio. So you know, Eastern Ohio. That's why I was going to move to Western. I was like, well, it won't be that because you know these people they just make shit up all day long. I don't even know if she was a real person. Tell you the truth. Right. Thanks, Larry. It was just the idea that when confronted with these things, I'm going to show them how I'm not a danger. Right. 100%. I'm more like a mentor person, which is who I've always been. They just killed it because they don't want somebody mentoring young people in the right direction. But I did anyway. And all the mess is my inability to be outside with these people and, you know, kind of help them. But the what do they call it? The millennials are actually, they do care. They just need to wake up to a few more things. Right? Not because the baby boomers just didn't care about shit. They're self-serving one-way people. Like, the charity's even one way. I've explained that, right? I mean, it's really not charity. If you do charity and you get another, you know, $1,000,000 when you do 100,000 in charity, because that's what Satan will do for them to show that they're the charitable ones, but they're actually costing us more than they could ever put into the system because they're corrupt, right? They're devils, man. They're projecting, they're possessing, casting spells. I told the woman in there, I said it was a spell. Oh, I was in the store because I left my card behind last night. So it wasn't a machine, I guess. I don't know. I have no idea. But they got, again, a couple things happened. Some other things happened in my wallet. So I know they hit me with a spell. I told them I got hit with a spell last night. Question is, who wants it? Who wants it? Who I curse? If it wasn't zip your lip, man. Because it doesn't change. It can get a little bit worse. The idea is this: if I didn't do what I did, you'd have even more anti-power, and you would even more so, and more. So again, it's not something you can readily just look at. You have to know how it works and what would happen in the absence of me doing that. Right? It's just funny to see like regular people. I don't know where they've been. cops are supposed to heal everything. At first, you'll. In other words, if you stick together as cops, and like if it's an official, let's heal the whole community. Then they can't. You might go down a little bit, but again, it's just like anything else. It's like when you're trying to take down a criminal enterprise, sometimes your life goes down a little bit if you're real, right? And then it should get a boost, but you'll be fine if you stick together. The problem is where they take everybody out one by one and make them deep state, right? If you can't. I wouldn't want to be a if my agency was deep state. Again, that's what happened. I left, and we didn't call it deep state back then. But I realized they were corrupt and pieces of shit. I said, okay, no reason for me to go back. Again, I asked God. I said, God said I could put you back in government because there was a lot of crime that was committed against me and other people, including Jonathan Luna, right? And there were going to be hearings. So I guess that's probably what it was. God was going to use those hearings, right, to get me back in government. 100%. Now they have to erase anything and everything, right? It was all set up. It was all at the level of CIA set up, right? That's why they tried to do me my whole life. Once CIA does you, it doesn't matter who you are, they're still going to try to kill you because you have the evidence of what they did, right? Including the cause of death of Jonathan Luna. But it wasn't only that. I mean, there's contracts. When I say CIA is a big machine. There's a lot of contractors. I have a lot of former. Right. So where am I going? God told me to step out for a second here. I'm waiting for the place I'm moving into to get back to me because I need to take my deposits up to them. I know there's probably a lot of pushback as far as renting me a place. Right. Actually, nah, they would never. If I returned to Pennsylvania, they couldn't do what they did. Pennsylvania, a lot of people are live free or die. I mean, I've heard a lot of people say that, but they're not real. Live their version of the deep state or die is what they're actually saying, right? One of my banks actually happens to be here right down the street, so that's pretty good. Right. I just need some further information and take them to deposit and the first month's rent. I don't see how they would even, like my brother was saying, why did they do that? Why? Because he had to do it for his son. He didn't want to sign a lease where he had to pay for a full month when his son was moving in on like the 15th or something like that. Now, I'm theoretically moving in on the 10th, and they're making me pay for a full month. Where most places would have my lease done today, and they have it occupied. Most places pretty quick to get you occupied. Okay. It just could be something that they do. I don't know. I would have had everything done a couple days ago if I was occupying today, right? The biggest problem was how to start the insurance or get a proof of the insurance prior to it starting. Because theoretically, if I told them that I was looking to change my insurance before I move in, I'm not really there. Now I'm paying for it, but I'm not really there. Well, they give you. It's kind of like they give you $500 off your rent, but then they're charging me for 10 extra days. So it comes out. I'm paying full rent, I'm sure, or something like that, a prorated rent. Right. Thanks. It is. I got a good deal on the place, I think. Right. Probably not going to find no. I'm not going to get a new place like that from anybody for that price. Right. Yeah. They look like something was trying to steer me. I'm not saying it's a physical person, but something's trying to steer me towards Cranberry. The convenience of Cranberry, but I'm not going to be around the LDS. No, not like that. That's their stronghold. They moved me into their stronghold. I believe that package may have been drugged. I've run into that before. You touch the inside of a package, and your mind starts swimming a little bit, right? Your brain or body, whatever. Right? They'll always say that it's just, whatever, contrived or not contrived. What's that word I'm looking for? Imagined, right? But I think I'm sure they get people that way. Like these people that freak out. They get a delivery, they open it, they touch it, they're drugged. And all of a sudden, when they touch it, the person that did it, the people that did it, know that they're touching it, so they curse them extra hard. See? So once you get a package that's tainted, they'll start cursing you harder. That's sick. They definitely would do it. The question is whether it was done. That's the only question. Right. The question of whether they would do it is the moot point. Right. Remember, there are people that cause people to shoot themselves or the family and then themselves and say they all deserved it. Right. You clue. Well, stay peaceful. Praise God in all that you do. Praise God.